Hello everyone, my name is Theo Eschart from HSEvents, and I'm delighted to welcome you to today's webinar, Adobe Summit 24, What We Learned and Why It Is Important for the DAM Industry, kindly sponsored by CI HUB. During the session, please send through your questions at any point using the questions box in your GoToWebinar side panel. Also, a reminder that a recording of this session will be sent to you tomorrow, so you can view it again at your own pace. Now it's my great pleasure to pass you over to Andreas Michalski and Gerd Glaser from CI HUB. Thank you.
Hello, it's wonderful to be here. It's also wonderful, and thanks you, Theo, for again organizing this webinar. It's always a real pleasure. And especially today, it's a real pleasure because we have really an international audience. It's amazing. So I think what the Adobe guys are doing is something that's really interesting for all of you. And Gerd and myself, hello Gerd.
Hello everyone.
We'll bring that a little bit in a context. And as we're here for CI HUB, we will definitely also talk a little bit about how we as CI HUB see that these functionalities, which are up and coming, will be working in the CI HUB context. As I know, there are some people new to CI HUB. So I would like to spend a couple of minutes before we start into the Adobe Summit things on telling you a little bit about what is CI HUB, what are we doing, and how do we see DAM systems, and how we believe that we should support users by using DAM systems. CI HUB is a family of connectors that makes it extremely easy for any user in an organization to access the content within a DAM system, within a PIM system, within a workflow system, seamlessly from the applications that they are using in their corporate environment. In the moment, we do support and deliver approximately 24 different connectors. These connectors live seamlessly in the application, and the application can be any of the relevant Adobe products, InDesign, Premiere Pro, After Effects, Illustrator, Photoshop, InCopy. It can be the desktop or the cloud version of the Microsoft Office suite, PowerPoint, Word, Excel, Outlook, and SharePoint. We do support the important design tools, Figma and Sketch. And we're also doing that for all of the Google products. And we are now enhancing a lot deeper into the business applications, WordPress and AEM assets and AEM sites. There will be an integration into Canva. We just released the integration into Salesforce. So the idea is to give everyone in an organization the ability to easily connect to their assets. And to their assets means we want to reduce the distraction at work. And we all know that switching between the application where you want to finish your job and the data sources where you have the assets that you need is something that is cumbersome. And we want to deliver the best possible experience to make that easy. And that would also mean to enhance productivity and make work easier. That's really important. A data source from our perspective is any kind of relevant asset management system, and we're already connecting to 70 different of them. That could be a PIM system or a combination of them and PIM system. It can be a workflow system like Adobe Workfront or Asana, and it can be applications that go beyond all of that, and there is a lot of stuff coming. What do we mean with we want to support everyone within an organization? We've started with building the best possible connector for the most professional user group in an organization when it comes to design. The designer, the creatives, the editors. But these are just 5 to 8% of a typical organization. Adobe talks about 70 million people that are using the professional Adobe products. The other group we are talking about is the team of people in organizations that work in the office, the typical white-collar worker. People that are using PowerPoint or Google Slides to create sales presentations or departmental presentations. People that are using in the economic area of the corporate or that are in contact with the salespeople. This is a much larger force, and they have huge needs of accessing data because they have to work with that stuff not on a daily basis, but on an occasional basis. And especially there, it's even more important that a connector, that a solution to access my assets and my data is as simple as possible. And the third group we are identifying are all of the rest of the people in the organization. We say everyone, everywhere, that occasionally need access to corporate data, to corporate assets, or to corporate projects. This is a large majority of people that are using assets on a very occasional basis. These are people in an organization where we believe a product needs to be extremely simple. It needs to be built to be rolled out into large organizations without training needs and large infrastructure effort. And all of these three groups of people, we can provide a perfect solution to all of them, which we are calling the CI HUB Connector family. The CI HUB Connector family consists of 3 products. The CI HUB Connector Professional, as I said in the beginning, it lives in 27 different applications and delivers every functionality a professional creator expects from a tool that makes his life easier. The second one is what we call the CI HUB Corporate Connector. The CI HUB Connector Corporate is a product that is built for brand-aware users in an organization that needs extremely easy access to a pre-approved asset because they are not creating creative artworks, but they want to finish a sales presentation in seconds. They want to use pre-approved material in the easiest possible way. And for them, we have built, and we will roll out this year, a product that's connected to the corporate brand portal. So you're not just finding your assets, but you also get all of the information around an asset on how to use it and what's the rules around that asset. How do fonts work? How do colors work? How do I need to prepare my PowerPoint right in that context? And the third tool is the simplest tool to access any DAM anywhere. This is our full integration of the CI HUB functionalities in a Microsoft Explorer or an Apple Finder. It's so easy that you don't even see and feel that you're connecting to one of the 70 different asset management systems. You find your AM assets, your binder assets, or your Media Valley assets right in the Finder in the easiest possible way, in the easiest way to roll it out to large organizations without any kind of training need. These 3 products are our offer to you and to your organizations to handle assets that are stored in a digital asset management system in a much simpler and better way. Some short details. The CI HUB Connector Professional is the tool for the professionals with every function, we say with every bell and whistle for the most demanding audience out there, the creative creators. This is our flagship product. The CI HUB Connector Corporate is the product when I'm a brand manager in an organization that wants to make sure that all of my organization is used pre-approved in brand material. That's the tool to enhance my brand portal with the functionality that's really clever, because this is my brand portal in my application. This makes the use of branded material easier than never before, because before you had an amazing brand portal, but people had to go to the brand portal, read the information in the brand portal, remember all of what they have read, and then go in PowerPoint and use it. With the CI HUB Connector Corporate, it's in the application. That's what we all want. It's the brand portal in context of what I'm doing. Totally perfect. And again, the third one is the simplest possible way on how to access everything just from my Finder and Explorer. That makes it really easy. This is what we're doing. We're totally committed to exactly these three things. We believe that there is a lot of things coming, so stay tuned. And now I'm happy to leave the marketing stuff behind us and talk a little bit about the amazing things we've just experienced in Las Vegas.
Thank you very much.
And I can just tell everybody, we had the chance that we went to the Sphere in Las Vegas. So whenever you have a chance to go there, it's ridiculously expensive, but this is an experience you have never seen before, right, Gerd?
Yeah, it was a great experience.
This is unbelievable. Yeah,
for all senses.
Like the rest of the Adobe Summit. Let's jump into that.
All right, thank you. So we had some amazing talks during the Adobe Summit, especially with some Adobe guys, and we picked some topics out of these discussions we think would make sense because they're really connected to systems. And the first topic is a lot of talking about headless DAM approach, which means making the DAM available wherever it is needed, means delivering content through multiple channels without worrying about managing the presentation layer itself. And it's built for faster content delivery, greater flexibility in terms of user experience and for scalability. And we're thinking, okay, if it works for a content management system, it should also work in any authoring tool, the headless DAM. And that's what we say is the right approach. If you want to perform your daily tasks with a seamless DAM integration, you should use it in any application, if it's InDesign, if it's Photoshop, or if it's, let's say, Illustrator, or if we talk about Premiere Pro when it comes to movies, or in Figma, of course, when you're doing designs in Figma, or in PowerPoint, if you're doing presentations connected to your DAM system. That's a short overview of all applications. We're natively integrated. One thing that Andy has forgotten before is very heavily requested. It's the Adobe Express integration. We will talk about that in a few seconds. So that was really a big point, headless DAM approach, but there is more headless features integrated. Let's think about image manipulating when you're in PowerPoint and you want to use, for example, the capabilities of Adobe Express and Firefly.
Yeah, let me just jump in here. Adobe announced the Firefly services at Summit, and Firefly services is really a groundbreaking thing for you as customers, because Firefly services will deliver the ability that in all of our products we can fully integrate the Firefly capabilities. And Firefly is, as a generative AI thing, really important because it delivers the results in brand, and they are compliant, so you can use that as a corporate. It's built for the corporate use with all of the aspects of data security, legal rights management to it, brand compliance. It's all part of the Firefly services. And now we can integrate the full power of Adobe Express and Firefly into your whole organization whenever your team needs to manipulate images or want to use images generated by a GenAI system. The combination of the two, and Gerd will show it, is stunning what you can do with that.
So it's even when you think about all the channels you have to feed and you have to manipulate assets, that's really a great thing. So I will show that how that works, for example, in PowerPoint. So with the CI Hub connector, you just call the Adobe Express feature within PowerPoint. Within Express features, you can then call Firefly with all its generative AI capabilities. You can generate, manipulate images, and then even store them in the DAM directly or place them directly into PowerPoint. So that's really a groundbreaking workflow if you have all these capabilities in every application available, and it runs perfectly. And as Andy said, there will be a custom part of that Firefly. That means you can have your custom model, you can train that model, but we will come to that later on because that's very interesting.
And just for this one, just imagine, and we all know that you are in PowerPoint, you have an image that is not really perfect. You're using the onboard tools of PowerPoint to do a cropping or do a cutout, but it's always not really perfectly working. You want more, yeah? And then the hassle starts, because then you have to open your image manipulation software, you load the image, you do all of that stuff, you load it back to the drive. You maybe don't check it into the DAM system again, so it's lost for the organization, you know, all of that. And with the full integration of Adobe Express into PowerPoint or into SharePoint or into Word or into Figma, yeah, you have the full professional Adobe image manipulation tool Express in all of these products. You have the full power, the full compliance, yeah, and you manipulate in PowerPoint. You do whatever you want. You push a button, use it, save it back to the DAM system, which is really important for the DAM librarian, that all of these assets that are used are in the DAM, so I can track that stuff. And in addition, because of the Firefly services, you know how it's generated, you know the prompt. The CI Hub connector will store these informations back into the DAM system as metadata and give you the full ability to track the legal compliance of these used assets, even if they come out of an AI system. This is the really key thing for everything. And that capability will come with a right click. Just when you open an asset via the CI Hub connector, just say manipulate with Express. It's all done. This is really cool. Yeah.
Okay, next thing is a lot going around building blocks. That means at the end that every DAM should support the provision of content fragments. That's what we're doing currently, for example, with Adobe InDesign already. So you can export fragments into a DAM system and reuse them within PowerPoint or Word or any other application. But we went a step further with the new corporate connector, where you have really everything what is necessary to have fragments available and combine them to a building block. That's really one of the greatest features within the CI Hub corporate connector, and that's what most of the guys are talking about.
And I think building blocks, yeah, are a thing that most of the DAM systems are starting to implement. Yeah, building blocks is really, really a cool way, especially when combined with AI, on how you can deliver the ability to have corporately pre-approved text elements that are then combined to a larger page, to a larger text, to a one-pager, to a presentation that are completely in line, but totally trackable. So I think building blocks in Adobe AEM is a really big thing for lots of users, especially if you think into regulated markets, government, but also finance, very special in the health industry. This is a really, really important features that is now also there for the Adobe AEM side. And Adobe made a really big thing out of introducing that. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, right. And what comes with building blocks is also quite interesting. Adobe says, don't move data to get results. It's always better to use the data wherever they are stored. And that leads to the most of you will know it, the discussion, should we consolidate data or should we aggregate data? And of course, data aggregation is the best thing we have ever seen. It works perfectly. If you use the CI HUB connector, you don't need to move data around. You can aggregate everything. You have the full access over all search results. So there's no need to do a search in the DAM, then in the PIM for the texts. And this is also heavily requested when it comes to building blocks, because if I have my assets in the DAM and if I have my product description or whatever is necessary in the PIM stored, I want to have one search and I want to find everything what's stored in those various source systems should be displayed in one front end, and that's what we're doing. And that's what we understand when it comes to aggregating data.
And with that approach, which is now really officially, I will not say supported, but is something what Adobe is starting to discuss about the aggregation instead of consolidation, is something where we talk about real money. We had a very interesting discussion with two customers on our booth at Summit about their efforts and the money they put into consolidate two legacy DAM systems into a new DAM system. And these are really, really, really complicated projects. And most of you know that. It's easy to get rid of a couple of millions of euros or dollars on these integration projects. With the idea of aggregation at the user level, you connect to the three data sources transparently for the user. So the user in the CI HUB connector has the feeling he's accessing one data source. It's three different data sources, and the logical combination happens on the request. And with this, migrating projects becomes less critical, because what the user wants is accessing data, not consolidated backends. As long as we can deliver what the customers need to fulfill their work, this is a very, very simple and very logic approach to having different data sources that I want to merge together. I do it in the front end and not on the back end. At least I can already do it in the front end very quick. So I have a quick success in a project, and I do have more time to do my backend consolidation. It still does make sense to have one database with everything in it, but it gives the project a quicker visibility of success and gives you more time and maybe more financial freedom on how to do that. So I think that was a quite interesting approach, and we're talking about really, really big projects, and we're talking about really complex projects, even for small organizations. So don't say, I'm a small organization, I don't have that problem. You have.
Cool. As long as you have to feed all the channels, and that's necessary.
Yes, and it will be more and more and more.
Okay. Next point, what they presented is, I think you have heard about that. That is the Content Hub. The Content Hub that Adobe presented is, as written down here, is a carefully curated collection of content always related to a specific subject or to a specific project or a campaign or whatever, is covered by a curated collection. So this is very interesting. It's brand related, it's product related, it contains every information around any project or product.
But I think it's the Adobe idea of having a brand portal with pre-approved content, right?
Exactly, that's
across different use cases or organizational structures, right?
Exactly, and campaigns.
And
you
campaigns.
have different content for
so I understood that as soon as you have an asset in AEM Assets and this asset is approved, it automatically shows up in the Content Hub, right?
You can move that to a Content Hub if it's related to a special campaign. Maybe it does not only have a logo, it could be an image that is dedicated to a special campaign. That's then all available in that specific area of a Content Hub.
Very cool.
And that's exactly what we're doing with the CI Hub Connector Corporate. It's the same approach that we're currently building. It's having all campaign or brand related material within the application at your fingertips. So there is no need to read color schemes, type it in again. You just drag and drop color schemes into your application and they're done. If you have campaign specific infographics, all that textual information, that's all at your fingertip, and that's kind of a brand hub, but it lives within the application.
We were first a little bit concerned, but then we figured out this is totally cool because this is the brand portal where the CI Corporate Connector connects to. It's amazing. Yeah, it's really cool that Adobe brings that. I like it a lot.
But it's still a browser application, so it's not within any application authoring tool. So I think that makes sense to connect to it and display all that contents. Another part is, of course, artificial intelligence, generative AI. The cool thing is that they have a custom model. Those custom models are now based on objects or on styles. And how that works, I would like to show you that with a video that explains that a bit. I hope that this is working.
Creative and marketing executives can keep internal teams and external agencies on brand while scaling the volume of personalized assets. That's why Adobe is introducing custom models powered by Firefly, bringing enterprises the power to customize Firefly's generative platform to your specific brand, style, products, and campaign direction. Let's see how an enterprise can train a custom model to help accelerate content creation for an upcoming global campaign. Training a custom model doesn't require any technical knowledge. First, select images that represent the campaign style or object you want to train. Next, Firefly analyzes the images and auto-captions them. You can edit captions to increase the quality. After you submit, you're notified a short while later when the model is ready. You can preview and test the custom model. Once published, it's available for use in multiple Adobe applications where Firefly service is enabled. Adobe custom models give enterprises the power to train Firefly with your brand to create commercially safe, personalized content at scale.
Yeah, so that is really interesting stuff because these custom models will be available also within the CI Hub connector. As you might have seen, you need at least 15 to 20 assets to train that model. That can also be done with the CI Hub connector because you have access to your corporate assets and you can then use them to train those models. All custom models are really within a closed environment. So it is really individualized and it's totally tailored to your brand and to your imagery, so to say. And it's really a cool thing. And yeah, we're going to support that with the connector.
Maybe some of you know that we have that similarity search built into the CI Hub connector. And something like that you will see. You just select 10 different images as learning objects. and then you click on a button and the system will use these learning objects to build your own model. Totally fantastic.
It works with styles, so if you have special styles, but it can also work on a product. If you have a pack shot or something like that, it could be either the environment or the pack shot itself, and place that pack shot into different backgrounds. That's really amazing, and it works perfect. We've seen that so far in Las Vegas. Okay, the next thing is, don't know if you heard about that, is Project Brand Slam. We'll also show you a short video about what they're doing here. The lady is hard to understand, but I think you will get it.
So this next sneak is called Project Brand Slam, and Prana is here.
Hi everyone. So my sneak today is Project Brand Slam. Before getting into the demo, let's have a look at this email. So what's the first thought that comes to your mind when you look at it? Let me tell you mine. It does not look good. There's no proper structure, no consistency in image sizes and font styles, and the logo, which is a signature of an email, is not even prominent. To be honest, looks like a scam email to me. For every brand email, it's essential to look good and be aligned with its brand guidelines and brand values. And that's where Project Brand Slam comes in. It not only makes your content on brand, but also optimizes it to make it more performant. Let's get into the demo now. As a marketer, I'm interested with spearheading our upcoming summer break email campaign, and I've got this email draft ready. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm not entirely convinced that it's hitting the on-brand and high-performance mark. To solve this, I would normally dive into a long and tedious cycle of copywriters, designers, legal check, etc. But not today. With a simple click on this button, I can begin to optimize my content. And Shad, I would need your insightful help to make sure that we nail both the brand consistency and the performance metrics. Let's open this. Voila! As soon as it opens, we have our on-brand score pre-calculated for this curated content, indicating how much our content is aligning with the brand guidelines. What's interesting is that even though the email isn't pretty, it still is technically mostly on-brand. These are all the categories of brand guidelines and their scores for this email. Looks like logo and typography are the only categories which are not completely on-brand. Let's fix these two. Yesterday, you saw how brand guidelines issues can be automatically identified during the Adobe Gen Studio demo. We can get a valuable summary of guidelines followed and guidelines violated. And with MySneak, we are expanding it to automatically suggest improvements. Let's take a peek at our suggestions. Logo size should be around 15 to 200 pixels. Logo should align to the left. With these tweaks, we are aiming to boost the individual category score as well as the overall on-brand score. Let's apply these. Bam! Did you catch that? The whole styling of the logo just did a 180. And boy, is it noticeable. There are no more violations and the score is updated too. Awesome. Let's go back and fix the typography. Well, this is a very high priority email, so we just want to make sure that there are absolutely no violations. After these fixes, the font style should look good too. Well, it is looking much better. The font style is now brand aligned and more consistent. Okay, so there are no more violations in any of the categories and our content is completely on brand. But is it driving conversions too? Let's see. So this section provides us with a content performance score, which is not very good right now. It's just 40%. And it also gives us some recommendations to improve the score. These recommendations are systems brainchildren cooked up to boost performance. And guess what? They are not just any old suggestions. They are data-backed gems taken from a model trained on past campaigns. Currently, these recommendations cater to our luxury guest target audience. So Shad, as I mentioned earlier, I will be needing your help to improve this content now. These recommendation card you see, each of these offer a couple of options to improve the content. So if you could just quickly choose the best option in each category, that would be great. Upon clicking on the highlight section button, we know that this section is recommended to be changed. And upon clicking on the preview button, the real magic happens. Amazing. So these are the variations offered for the hero image. This is variation 1, this is variation 2, and this is variation 3. Shall, what do you think? Which one should we go with? Third. Okay, good choice. Let's save this. And our hero image is changed. I'm just glad we changed it. The previous one wasn't really giving the hero image vibe, right? So next is text of primary block. This is the section we are talking about, and these are the alternatives. In variation 1, features like spa treatments, dining experiences are highlighted. In variation 2, features like swimming pool and meeting rooms are highlighted. And in variation 3, features of a room including private balconies and elegant accommodations are highlighted. Shan? Okay, that was quick. Let's save this. And the changes reflected here. Next one is my favorite. This card is to flip the entire layout and change the complete structure of the email. Let's see what it offers. Wow. So this is the current layout of email, which is not very good. And these are two completely different layouts, which are not only better looking, but also compatible with our current content. Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a bit tricky to choose too. I like both. So Shad, it's your choice.
I'll take the 490 times 239.
Okay, this one.
293. Sorry.
There you go.
Okay, so let's save this. And here we go.
I don't like that one. The 600 times the other. I like the 600.
Okay, the recommendation is gone now. We have improved the content. Our content is now hitting all the right notes, so we can't see any of the recommendations.
Got it.
Yeah, so the performance score is 91%, which is very good. The best part, Shaq, you designed it. I don't know if you've designed a marketing email before, but with our tool, it was so easy to do.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping us design.
So this next sneak is called.
Yeah. You see, yeah, live demos are always having some tricky parts, really cool. But you can clearly see what is the potential of a long-term vision that Adobe has here. We are really, really, really astonished because what you see here, even if it does have its glitches, yeah, someone always said, you know, we are talking about AI and GenAI things like a 3-month-old kit, yeah, and it's already astonishing what it's capable to do. Imagine what will be coming if they will be grown-ups, yeah, and understanding the capabilities of what it means if you combine it with the seamless access to any asset, to any metadata, and to any legal database with all of the compliance informations in it. This is really groundbreaking, yeah. And imagine how easy that will be if that's in a CI Hub connector, if you can access 3 or 4 different corporate built AI systems that generate different things, that have access to different data and allow the creation of whatever based on all of these contexts. This is really powerful. The key at the end, and this is one of the learnings what we took when we sat together about reviewing what we saw at the summit. It's the amazing ability to use AI and to use technologies, but at the end, the most important thing is the easy access to assets, to metadata, to pre-approved material, because at the end, everything what you see there, is based on that you have your corporate repositories. The AI you see is really simple and it looks amazing if you just say, yeah, you know, I need this and that on a mountain with the sunset and the dog. AI can generate everything, but I do know lots of the audience here, they have products. These products are built and stored in a product database. They have specific product specifications. You can't just do an AI for create me a car. All of these specifications need to come out of the database. So there is a huge need for asset management systems that store in a very robust way, in a scalable way, all of my corporate assets. And what was also clear in all of the discussions we saw, the idea that we do not need DAM systems anymore because images just created on the fly whenever I need it, it's just not the reality. The reality is DAM systems have their reason. It's a good reason. And I do see that there is a huge increase in assets we will store. And so the ability to access my databases, my DAM systems, my multiple systems at the same time, very easy, and then combine it, is something that's even more important than it was before the AI age. So I do think there's no need to fear that there will be no DAM vendors, and there is no hope that you will never have an asset in your store anymore. That will just not happen. And giving access in a really easy way in the whole organization becomes more important than anything else, I do think. Yeah.
And even once you have generated a library with AI, you need to store it and make it available for team members across the organization. And that's the main thing where we say we should connect artificial intelligence bidirectional, just for creating, but then also for storing all that creative stuff in a DAM system that is well organized and has well-defined metadata. That's all we need then.
Yeah.
Alrighty, that's it so far. Are there any questions around all that?
So yeah, there are a couple of questions coming up. When is the CI Hub Drive available? I think this was the hottest topic on on our booth from existing customers and new customers.
Yeah, I think it will be for Mac. It will be available at the end of April, and for Windows, end of May.
Something like that. Yeah. Did they discuss usage rights regarding AI? Oh yes, usage rights regarding AI was one of the big topics, and I do think this is also one of the key selling points of Firefly and Firefly services, is that the corporate will have their own, let's say, learning directory fed with their data in a private enclave. Sorry for this. And Firefly will make it really easy for an organization to control what is the data source for an AI system to generate things, to be compliant in branding perspective, in the rights perspective, but also from the product perspective. You can upload, you can train an AI with your product informations in a private environment where only your data is used to train the AI system. So I think this is the really big thing where the Adobe approach is very, very focused for the corporate user or the corporate organization. And this is, from my point of view, one of the main topics where the Adobe offering is very, very different from the GenAI and all of the other systems. They will enhance, they will also find solutions on that one, but I do think from what we've seen, Adobe is really far ahead on all of that stuff.
Exactly. And also all their models are curated.
Yeah.
What they are using, even if you're using a customized model and you want to use a background from Adobe, then that's all curated. There is no issue with rights, digital rights.
Yeah, absolutely. How easy is it to connect my SharePoint system to an CI Hub? SharePoint is one of the core connectors we're offering. Rolling that out to your organization is about 15 minutes, and the installation itself is a minute. So it's really easy. And we will, when we share the video, you can just go to our website, load a free trial, and just try it for yourself, how easy and simple it is. There's no credit card required. There is no subscription created. Just go and try it. It's free and easy. Yeah. Is there a specific implementation for Canva? No, we are working on Canva. And you will see the Canva connector, I would say around summer. Frame.io, we are still working on talking with the right people of Adobe to deliver these kind of connectors. We do need the cooperation with the partner who owns that, we call it host system. And with the Frame.io guys, it's still a little bit complicated, but connecting Canva with Smartsheet will be totally easy around summer. The next question is, can we get a free trial? Yes, that's what I said. We offer a free trial. It's for 30 days. And if it's not enough, just let me know. You can easily go to our website, download the product, and test the full functionality with everything.
You can also register for early access to all the other products.
Yeah. Can you open that question? I can't read that. Just do that a little bit more to the, or click on it, and it shows up there. Just click on it.
The last one.
Yeah. So, would it be possible to try also? So yes, absolutely. Whenever you have done a free trial, let's say for the Adobe product, and you want to do a free trial for Microsoft, just click on it, and we extend the trial for each and every product, so it's not a problem at all. Is there a security reason, and do you copy all of them assets? So CI Hub is built for the corporate environment and for the corporate requirements on security, data privacy, and large deployments. So the architecture of how CI Hub is built makes sure that we never touch an asset. The CI Hub connector never stores an asset, and it's built to be rolled out to thousands of users within all of your corporate required rollout tools, software distribution and software management tools. And everything what the user can see in the CI Hub connector is automatically based on the rules and rights of the connected system. So there will never be the situation that someone can see assets in the CI Hub connector that he can't see in your DAM system. Security, easiness of rollout, and scalability is something what's in our DNA totally. Okay. Are there more questions?
Don't think so.
Okay.
Just one is coming in. If you want to answer
what is the price model? Oh, that's totally simple. Also, yes, it's built. The price is based on a connector. So the whole Adobe suite is 19 euros per user and month, and it brings you all of the relevant Adobe products. the Figma is €7. So each product has its own value, because normally in an organization, a typical user group only needs a typical connector. So it's the most transparent and fairest way to make it buy the product. But we do have also the ability, if you need more than 10 licenses, to do individual project deals. And we can combine every connector for every amount you need. It's totally easy. And oh yes, there is a nice question. Are you at the Adobe Max in London? Yes. As you may know, in 2 weeks, there is the Adobe Max in London. It's on the 23rd of April. And we will be there with the booth. And if there is someone in London at Max, it would be a real big pleasure if you visit our booth. And if you have any kind of question, ask before Adobe Max or see us there. That would be great.
Booth A1.
Booth A1. Okay. One more question? No.
All right.
Okay. I think we give you 10 minutes. Use it wisely. Again, Theo, lots of thanks for making that webinar available. The Henry Stewart guys will share the video by tomorrow, I think. And it was a pleasure having you all here. It was really crowded. I'm really proud that you stuck here. And yes, see you next time. Have a good evening and ask questions or try it for free. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.